welcome to your reading. I think today I'm going to start with the astrological oracle deck. I'm reading this more about the energy, but the zodiac signs, if they pop up, could be significant for you. Oh! We've got Scorpio, Plutarian, 8th house energy. Anything else? Scorpio is about transformation, change, death, and rebirth. I don't know if I'll take all of these cards. We got Libra, Venusian energy. This one's about fairness and equilibrium. We have Pluto, Mercury, but my mind is going to how the word Mercury or curious is in this card. So some sort of curiosity. And we've got Soul, the Sun. Maybe I will keep these cards. So I am talking to somebody who Scorpio and Libra could be significant for you. Doesn't have to be in your chart though. I'm talking to somebody who is dealing with the death and rebirth of a cycle in your life. What area of life this applies to here, I'm not sure yet, but I do know that it's helping you question. I do believe it is helping you question, like, what is right, what is equal, what is fair, what is just. But I do think it's also highlighting some sort of romantic qualities. And I don't mean romantic like lovey-dovey. I mean romantic like maybe poetic or comforting. Though I wouldn't say comforting too badly or too loudly here, because I feel like the Taurus card would be more about comfort. Libra is more about doing what is just, fairness, right? Harmony. Libra is all about harmony. So harmonizing, alchemizing, adjusting, orienting, any of those words might apply to you here during this process, this shedding that you're going through. With Pluto, that really emphasizes this Scorpio energy. Pluto, 8th house, is all about the taboo. It is about discomfort, but the kind of discomfort that results from immense change. It is about digging deeper into the shadow. It is about, again, transformative energy, death, life, rebirth, right? Mercury is a very social card, but it can also highlight curiosity, because like I said, the word curious, it's not spelled right, but the word curious is within the label of this card, which I think is interesting. My mind is just going there. So maybe somebody's curious about you, wondering about you. Maybe you're wondering about something. Questioning. Lots of questioning going on around here. Soul, the Sun. The Sun is about your persona, your main persona. A lot of people say the Sun is ego. The Sun is who you are. That's not, I mean, yes. One of the easier ways to simplify it is the Sun is ego. But what do people mean when they say that? I just saw 444. You are divinely protected if you're going through a lot of pain right now. I don't know if you are yet, but that just came to mind. The Sun is So what do we mean when we say like that's your ego? It's your persona. That's your public persona. That's your common persona. That's the face that you go to most of the time, especially when you're out, right? You might be showing a face that could be a little different to what you're feeling and dealing with. I'm not really feeling that in a trickery kind of way though. I feel like that's most people. Okay. If that sounds like you, then this reading might be for you. If not, you're welcome to keep listening, but you're also welcome to move along. Doesn't bother me either way. Okay, moving on to the Seashell Oracle. Let's see what wisdom this deck has to share with us today. I'm just remembering I forgot to light my candle. I have like an intuition candle that I light for these readings, and I forgot to light it. But I don't feel the urge or desire to, hold on, my phone is dying. I don't feel the intense need to light it. Hold on. There we go. Okay, we're changing the angle. That's fine. Changing the angle. So while I'm moving around over here, you might be reassessing a situation. You might be, like I said, reorienting yourself in a situation. With so much Plutarian energy, Scorpio, right? I do think it gets a bad rap, but the truth of the matter, at least for me, is that it does tend to feel uncomfortable oftentimes. Not most of the time, not all the time, but like I said, it sort of symbolizes a type of change that is very deep. It's often very internal, but if it's not internal, then it's very, I don't want to say catastrophic, but it's just a big change, whether that's literally a big change or just internally a big change, and that's not always comfortable to go through. Just remembering I have my painting in the background. I have to... all right. Let's see what the Seashell Oracle has to say. What message do you need to hear? Float. Resiliency, buoyancy, drift. And sunken treasure, wealth, mystery, discovery. Right off the bat with float, I definitely think it is helpful to you, for you to go through the motion of the ocean. You know what I mean? When your feelings arise, it's easier said than done, I know, but it's better to feel them rather than to immediately push it away out of your mind, to immediately run to distract yourself from it. Sunken treasure, let me see what that is. Right off the bat though, before I even read the booklet, the thing that comes to mind with this is like hidden treasure. You know, there is a certain kind of wealth that is hidden beneath the really uncomfortable process of dealing with your emotions and feeling them. But once you get through that and you finally reach that treasure, you reach a state of there's just this very strong sense of calm, this understanding. It's like you feel settled. Almost, I don't want to say like separated, but I feel like after you go through the process of facing the emotions that you don't want to face and just getting through that, you reach that kind of state that people are talking about when they say observe. You know, when people are like trying to teach you how to meditate and they're like, observe your thoughts, observe whatever. And you're like, what does that even mean? When you process especially heavy emotions, during that process, it's not usually fun. I'm sorry, it's not. I'm not gonna lie. My headphones. But after that process, it really is this kind of floaty feeling. It is that observant energy. Not a full neutrality, but just it's much easier to view everything as it is, stepping outside of yourself for a second. But anyway, let's read this card. A glimmer of gold on the sandy sea floor, precious riches lying at the bottom of the ocean for centuries. What's lost will be found. You might be worried that you're going to lose something. Are you worried that you're going to lose something? 11:30 was on my clock. Maybe you're watching this at 11:30. I don't know. Whatever this changes, you might be afraid that you'll lose something, or you might be realizing that you have to let go of something or someone and you don't want to. It's understandable. Is there anything else from this card? Pearl. Luck, patience, and refinement, my friend. You are definitely going through something. I'm talking to somebody who's going through a process in which you are realizing that you eventually have to let something go. You eventually have to let something leave. You eventually have to drop something, whatever it is for you. Whether it could be a person, it often is. It could be a way of life, a lifestyle. It could be your friend group, job. It could be the entire construction of your life. That would be a pretty big one. It could even be an object, you know? But regardless, this thing that you have to let go now, clearly you don't want to. And clearly you might. I think there may be potential people who are clicking out of this video as I'm explaining this thing that they don't want to hear. And that's okay. But just know that luck, patience, refinement, nothing ever happens to you for no reason. If something happens to you, it's happening for you. And we don't always understand why. But you will eventually understand if you don't understand now. It's like I said with this floating card in the sunken treasure, that process of going through all the muck of everything that feels awful. Once you finally get through that, you reach this sort of treasure trove within yourself and even within your life. And that's what this pearl is. Luck is definitely on your side, my friend. Things are working out for you. They are working for you right now. It doesn't feel like it. I know it doesn't feel like it. It's probably frustrating hearing that. It's working for you. Well, why don't I feel like it? It's because you're going through the refinement process. This is the refinement process. All pearls basically start out as a grain of sand, right? And then they're coated with whatever the oyster coats them with. Mucus? I don't know. But it's coated over and over and over and over. And it eventually turns into this beautiful, amazing little pearl. 1441 was just on my clock. Okay, so clearly you're going through some kind of loss or some kind of change. But I do think it has to do with loss. Let me see. using this tarot deck. What is this change or loss that my audience is going through right now? Oh, I almost shuffled it wrong. 1515. I'm seeing a lot of like mirrored numbers, repeated numbers, and my nose is getting itchy, so I don't know if any of those little details mean anything to you. That one thing I noticed is a lot of tarot readers, like when they really start getting into that flow, like their nose starts just dripping. And sometimes that happens to me. I don't understand it, but I mean, it's there. Okay. Oh! Oh, worried. Definitely a lot of worry. So right off the bat, we have Empress in reversed. The Empress card. I try to avoid using words like feminine and masculine because I just know, even when we consciously try to surpass that, I just know that it's not being understood the way it needs to. But the Empress card is about, it's receptive energy, it's nurturing energy, it's allowing, it's creativity. When the Empress is in reverse, you're struggling to allow something to happen or allow something to unfold. You're struggling to dip into your creativity. You're struggling to be nurturing or feel nurtured. But in your case, I think the emphasis is that there's a struggle here, 1717, to allow something to unfold, to allow, period. We have the Eight of Pentacles. You know, the practice of allowing, and I do say practice because it's not easy all the time. I wish it was. The practice of allowing it's a skill. It is definitely a skill. It is something that gets easier over time, and it becomes, you begin to see not the reason for doing it, but you begin to see, I guess, the results of it more the more you do it. The Eight of Pentacles is about patience. It's about patience because it's a card that's about building up your skills, which takes time, which takes patience. It's also about crafting your skill to begin with. It can also be about crafting your reality or crafting something that you're putting this work and effort into. But most of the, peep the nails, by the way, but most of the time, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes, yeah. And honestly, I don't want to say I hate that, but I'm not a patient person. I'm really not. That's something I'm learning right now. For you, though, the skill that you, Spirit is urging you to craft is to, it's telling you to practice the practice of letting go. Not letting go, sorry, of allowing, which letting go kind of goes in with that umbrella. There's also a need to slow down. We have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a very fast moving card. Very fast, very critical thinker, very logical, very analytical, and very fast. The Knight in general is always going to be action oriented. there might be a way that you're going about something. You might have the general idea of what you need to learn here, but it could be like the way that you're going about it isn't exactly what the universe is intending. I'm hearing forceful, so don't try to force anything. You know, you can't make yourself stop caring. You can say you don't care anymore, but feelings are feelings. They're not thoughts, right? You are not your feelings. You can always control how you respond to them. You can control whether or not you want to look at them. But when the feelings arise, they arise, right? Oh, we've got the King of Swords and the Ten of Swords. Definitely this very upset kind of energy. I see you wanting to protect yourself because you feel 111. I see you wanting to protect yourself because you feel so, it hurts. It hurts and you're afraid of getting hurt. 2121. I'm sorry, I keep saying these numbers, but they have to be important for somebody listening. But yeah, it hurts. Obviously, you would want to protect yourself, right? With this card, with this Ten of Swords card, I'm covering the bottom because I don't want my video, even though I don't have, anyway, I don't want it to get, but with this card, the thing that is coming to mind, first of all, is all of this swords energy. 10 swords over here, and then you've got the one kind of ready, at the ready. And then the thing that came to mind was like beating a dead horse. There's no need to beat a dead horse, or stop, not to beat a dead horse, whatever. And then this video, it was actually so funny. This girl, she was so mad, and she made a video. She was like, it's not beating a dead horse if the horse keeps getting up and doing something stupid again. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah. I don't actually know why that's coming to mind. It could have literally reminded me, but I think that's for somebody. I think that message there is like, because one of these swords is also going through the eyes. Yeah. And it's sort of like, I wouldn't say ignoring. I'm not saying ignoring, but it's choosing not to see. You can observe still, but it's, I guess in a way, choosing not to intervene or feed into something. 5 of Swords, Mother of Cups, and the Sun. You guys. Alright, so 5 of Swords starting off in reversed. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. It is... So this card, because I've been learning primarily with this deck, and because in this booklet, the wording here has really it has really molded my way of viewing the card. So the wording here is yet another card of warning. The 5 of Swords depicts the destruction of the self. You'll be lured into another situation or argument you know to avoid. Your selfishness and desire for power will lead you to defeat, pain, and discord. Oh, and discord will result. You got this in reversed, though. Oops. So I'm seeing that whether it's because of this video that you're watching now, or whether it's because you came to a revelation yourself, remember how earlier I talked about how, like, you may know generally what your kind of lesson is here, but the way you were going about it wasn't exactly the right move. Slowing down is necessary here. I think that is part of like this revelation. And also when I see this card, the first thing I think of really is it's not going to work out how you want it to. That's when I see this upright. Having this in reversed, when you allow this energy to, when you go into this and you change your thinking a little bit to, from, okay, I'm going to act this way or detach this way so that I can protect myself. You change that into something that is more, doesn't have to be necessarily softer, but it's more accepting. Your actions sort of come from a place of not, oh, I'm going to get hurt, but they come from a place of, oh, this hurts, but it's a good thing that's happening here. And even though it hurts right now, it's for our benefit somehow, right? That's what this card is about. Instead of self-destruction through this super tense, analytical, defensive energy over here, we're flipping the narrative. Because followed by the Mother of Cups, right? And the way these fell out, the Mother of Cups is pointing right at it, and this sword is pointing right at her. It's almost like it's like the part of you that's still defensive is like, you know, on guard. But then the swan is kind of just like reaching a hand out. They're reaching a hand out. She's accepting, she's loving, she's nurturing. She's not afraid. She sees the pain, and she's willing to take this under her wing. I know that's pretty symbolic, the way I was speaking, but in more literal terms, you're viewing the pain and your defensiveness over it. Whoa. Defensiveness over it. You're viewing this pain, and you're viewing your desire to initially get defensive and to initially kind of fight back a little before you even, you're viewing this, and something is flipping the narrative for you, and now there's like a part of you that's kind of just observing this energy and willing to sort of take it in, to hold it, right? We do have the Sun too. A very joyous card, a very happy ending kind of card, but also about illumination, where the Moon card can be about secrecy, but it's just more so about intuitive, internal, sort of hidden things, mysterious things. The Sun is illuminating that. Something illuminated for you, or was illuminated for you. I think that thing that's been illuminated is this idea of, okay, I acted a bit on the fence here. It's because I was scared and I could feel this shift, and I know that something hurts right now, but now I'm going to face it with this observant, nurturing kind of energy instead. That's the thing that's been illuminated for you right now. Bottom of the deck too is Wheel of Fortune. Notice how all of these strings are so chaotic looking, yet everything is connected. Even the colors are still in place, despite the chaos. Everything is connected, you're allowing it to unravel. The Wheel of Fortune too is about fortune, it's about good luck, it's about things moving along. I just want you to know that this thing that you're going through is taking you somewhere, okay? But it can only take you where it wants to take you if you let it, right? It's kind of like getting in a car, or like maybe like an Uber, The car can take you there, but it can only take you there if you let it take you there, right? If you choose to drive it, or you allow the driver to do what they have to do. it's kind of similar in that way. So, yes, I do see a lot of fortunate events happening for you. I see this ending well for you. I see this, yeah, that's basically it. My dad just came home. I'm taking it as a sign. Trust that you got everything that you needed.